Hey everybody, this is Giro Shen back once more with Alice through the Unity. I'm going to go to my base and do a kind of a test kind of deal. Basically, I have done a thing where I upgraded the resolution of my files. I'm not sure what that's going to do to my upload time, to my all the things that come with my files. So it's based on a request from one of our users. They wanted to see it in a higher resolution so that I don't know, maybe they have a big screen or just want to see it better. So I'm doing it so that they can get it in 1280p instead of 720p. So I'm not sure if that's going to change any of my sizes or anything else, but we're going to try it anyway. So I'm going to do a ship build video today. We're going to go and modify the Star Eagle that we just got. And so I'm going to head to my one of my bases. I'll pop out, and we have a base right here. We'll go to Vega. Oh, let's go to Bessel. So this is my Bessel base. We've been there a couple of times in the past.
Even without life, there is the potential for beauty.
I know. I knew a woman like that. All right, so first thing to do is go into our ship builder. We're going to change to the Star Eagle, and then I am going to change to ship builder. And now here we are. So first thing I'm going to do, just because, is I'm going to peel it apart layer by layer. So here on the top layer, we've got just the center bit. And it will take the guns with, and this thing here. There we go. And we'll slide that up and to the left. Looks like I got it all. That's good. There we go. Now, that's it. Let's move all of this back down here. And then we're going to take the next layer off. And that's going to include all this and this. So you get to see how it was put together originally, which is kind of cool. I always find it cool. I don't know, maybe you won't find it cool. I find it cool. So those are, I'm going to keep those actually on the piece they're connected to. But we want that. There should be one on the other side. That's just a nozzle. It looks like it's helping the ship turn when the thrusters are going and you turn. So that's basically what that's all about. And there, that one is done. Now let's move this up and to the right. There we go. And probably I want to put it out a little more. Probably not quite that much. That's close enough. Okay, so now you can see we have 3 parts remaining, and this is the lowest level. So that's where we're going to start. Let's look underneath and see if we have a dock, a slim docker. We don't have one. I think it's on the top somewhere. That's okay. All right. Starting here at the bottom, in the front, we have a landing bay, the ship bed landing bay 200. It's a TIO part, and then it's flanked by these pinpoint landing gears. There are four, 2 on each side, and then these are arranged. They're all the same part. You can just, if you take this part, you just pull this out, and you can use your arrow keys and make it 3 different parts. So That's all they did with those. And then we have in the center of that, we have a Stroud storeroom, which has 200 cargo. It has 200 cargo because I have improved cargo holds. That's a mod. And improved cargo holds gives the storage cargo holds a little bit of storage coming up. It also increases their mass correspondingly. And then I have the engineering bay, and I have 2 more cargo holds here that are 1,000 each, so that's 2,000 plus 200, that's 2,200. And then I have this Deimos belly aft, and this was supposed to go with the other piece, and it goes right about, it's above that, so it goes there. And this goes there too. Right there, okay. So it's just pieces I missed. I didn't see them when I was pulling it apart. Also, on the backs, there are 2 more pinpoints than their third configuration. I have 2 of the Ulysses M20 HE3 tanks. This is what comes with it. This is just a starting deal. So we got the engineering bay, which is kind of interesting, does give you a crew station, so engineering bays can be helpful. I may change that into a 2x1 engineering bay. I'm not sure if Stroud has a 2x1. Let's take a look. So we go to the Habs, go to Stroud 2x1. So we're going for the engineering bay. I think they have one. Well, maybe they don't have one. They don't have one. So anyway, that's why it's a 3x1. They don't have a 2x1. This is a Aculander. So you can see there wasn't enough landing thrusters with just the 3 on each side. So 6 of those. So they had to put a couple of these Aculander 11 landing gears in port and starboard. And then 2 of the engines are right here, the SA 4330s, which are really good engines, only 2 power, and they provide a considerable amount of maneuver thrust and engine thrust. So those are good ones. And then up front they have the Stroud Cap A's, both port and starboard forward. So that's what's on the lower line. And things that are here, I don't see anything that I'm really going to be swapping out other than these 2 suppressors. I mean, suppressors are good. They're all cool, and I understand this is a Ranger ship, and they don't want to just kill everybody. But, you know, from my perspective, the suppressor is really not that great of a weapon. Very short range. As you can see, it's an 800 range. It does 54 electromagnetic damage, which is good. It bypasses shields, so you can go in. So like when you go into targeting mode, you can target the engines, or well, the engines is most often what you do. And when you target those engines, it'll just bypass the shields. The shield don't have to be down, and you can just take out the engines. So that does make it good, but you have to be within 800, and that means they're going to be blasting back at you. Then we have the next layer up. So the next layer up, over here on the pontoons first, we have the other 2 engines, the 4330s. They are in the top right and left, port and starboard, whatever you want to call them, configurations. And then we have a cowling, and then the top Stroud Cap A, starboard and port fore top. Then we have the engine bracers tying that pontoon on, and then these radiators for a little variation in what it looks like. I'm probably going to remove some of that as well. Here we have a Stroud Brig 2x2. Now the Stroud Habs come with a couple different 2x2s. There's a battle station, which gives you 6 crew stations. There is the brig and a cargo hall, which, because of my thing, will give us 1,000 cargo. I don't necessarily want another 1,000 cargo. There's a computer core, which gives you 2 crew stations, and it's kind of an interesting part. And then there's a living quarters, and that is probably what I want to use. But battle station, this the empty one? Yeah, empty. the Stroud, empty battle stations, empty brig, empty cargo hold, empty core, and empty. That I got the empty one by ones, but I think actually I might have turned those off. But I have them turned off for some of my games. But the 2x2, I'm probably not gonna keep the brig. The brig is pretty cool. Again, it's a thing for the Rangers. You know, this is a Ranger ship, and so it's a thing for the Rangers. So behind that brig is the Tokamak X300 reactor. That's an A. We definitely want to improve that. Currently, that gives us 29 power. That's about as good as an A gets. I don't think there are any 30 power A's. I'm not the highest level with this person, and I don't know if I can even improve that A. So let's have a look. Go to reactors, and the A's, the biggest one I can see, that's a B. That's a B. That's a B. A B. So here's the Tokamak 300, that's the 29. And there's a toroidal, that's another 29. Spheromax, there's a 33. The thing is, with the 33, I would be dependent upon the lower pieces to hold that grav drive in place. I could swap them. That is a possibility. It changes a little bit, nothing really spectacular. So that 33 is an option. And there's the Stellary, that's a 26, and that should be all of them. So I'm going to buy that and just leave it sit there for right now. Then I'm going to slide back a little bit, and I'm going to look at a B reactor. So here's the Tokamak, that's the bottom of the A's. The Z machine top is a 35. The fast ignition is a 35. The 103, the mag inertias, that's a 31. Ion beam is a 31. So our best one is probably this one right here, which is a reactor that I really like. So this one has a 3.45 repair, and this is the other 35. No, this is the other 35. This one has a 3.75, so a higher repair. It's got a reactor health of 69 and a hull of 1,035. This is less hull and a little more reactor health. So I will probably go with this 303, DC 303. So let's take rid of that one out. Get rid of this right away. I want to change the color. I'm going to standardize the colors on this anyway. So J. Color 1 is that color. Color 2 is that color. Color 3 is that color. And then accept. And that gives me the 3 colors for that piece, which should be the same throughout the ship. So I can delete that and click on that, hit J. Gives me the 3 colors. Color 1 was this. Color 2 was this. And we'll leave it at that because there is no color 3 on this particular one. And we will slide this back into place as soon as we accept the color change. Okay, so now that's the first upgrade that we've done. Now we have this grav drive, and you can see we are pretty short on grav drive. So this is a 19 grav thrust. So we, unfortunately, it's SGD 1400. So I need to jot that down so I don't forget, because I have to delete it in order to see what the effects of the other one. So SGD 1400, which is a 19 thrust. So we're going to delete that, and we're going to look at the G and go to grav drives, and that is a A. There's the SGD. Where's the SGDs? SGD 1400 is as big as it gets. The R4000, the R3000 gives us 19. The R4000 gives us 22. If we go down to a B, we got the RD3000, which gives us 36, or the bigger SGDs, which there's a 30, which will give us a 25 jump range. So I think that's probably what we're going to go with. Just like that. And then I'm going to color that. There we go. That's it colored. Coloring on the grab drives don't do a lot, unfortunately. Enter. There we go. So, there we have that. So now, looking at this, I think what I want to do is remove... Well, let's talk about that later. So over here we've got a living quarters, and over here we've got a control station. So the control station adds us our 4 crew stations. Now, we could swap things around, and a matter of fact, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to hit my space bar. That activates that brig. Then I'm going to go over here to a battle stations. Hit space bar again. Now that's a battle station, so it's a little bit different. And then over here, instead of having a control station, because the battle station is technically a control station, over here we're going to go to a workshop. Now workshops are important for numerous reasons. While we're out and about, we don't have to stop somewhere in order to use a table to update things, to make things, to update things, do all the stuff that we want to do from that perspective. So that's where that comes in handy. And then we have living quarters over here. And we'll remind ourselves what we had on the bottom. We have a storeroom and an engineering bay. Okay, so just so we remember. And then we have the... why is it not giving me that? There we go. I got to be pointing at it. The 280 crew station, or 4 crew stations, 280 cargo Viking CP220, which I think is the biggest one. Let's see, G cockpit. Cockpit, go down to the Viking. Yeah, the CP220 is the biggest one until you get to a Kontiki, so we don't want a Kontiki. So we're going to stick with that. And then we're going to go to the top layer, which really isn't much here. There is another storeroom, so that's another 200. Again, we're jumping up the cargo and jumping up the mass, which is why right now we have a mobility of 83. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this, and I'm going to change this to a companionway. So that gets rid of a lot of mass and gets rid of the extra cargo space. So we're back down to 2480 on cargo. And then we've got 280 from the bridge, from the cockpit. So that's cool. And then up here is the captain's quarters. I don't know that we really need a captain's quarters, but we have one. So what we could do down here is make this an infirmary. That'll give us the science stations, which would come with the science lab. It also has a bed in there in case you want to sleep. And then up here, what we'll do instead of a captain's lab or captain's quarters is we'll switch this to a all-in-one. And we'll go, actually I'll go to the living quarters. That's what they had before. We'll just use living quarters. So now they have a place to sleep, but it's not like on the main deck. You have to climb up in here and do it there. The shield is a 760, which is a pretty good shield. There's a B shield that's better. Let's take a look. Looking at shields. So my favorite B shield, well, there's 2 of my favorites. One is the Vanguard, but that's 12 power, and I don't necessarily am not ready to put 12 power on this. So we have the Osiris, which is 8 for 995, and that's a good trade on your investment. There's an 8 for 830, so both of those are 8, but you get more or less shield out of those values. So I like when I put 8 and get like 900 or more. That's one of the things I like. Here's another one, 8 for 930. This is usually the one that I use, the Warden SG300. You can ask me why. I don't really have a reason. It's just the one that I like. Again, it's the 8 for 900 deal, and I think it's more widespread available is probably a big portion of it. And then we're going to yank that out. We'll put this back in. We'll delete that. And then we're going to click on that. We're going to go to J. We're going to do color 2 and color 1. There we go. And we could, if we wanted to, we could do color 2 to be this other color, and then they're, you know, more or less the same color. We'll do that. What the heck? And these are our pulse lasers again, and I am not a fan of pulse lasers, so there you go. Missile launchers, I think we're going to get rid of those. And so let's go look over here what else we have from the perspective of weapons. I thought we had something else. We do somewhere. That's missiles, I'm pretty sure. So where are the other weapons? They're not under there. Oh, they're the suppressors. So the suppressors were the main weapon. Don't like that either. And they were 6 points of power each. So let's put in something different here. Let's put in some well, let's finish what we're doing first, and we'll go look at the weapons array. I'm going to get rid of these 2 weapons and these 2 weapons as well. So now, looking at this, we do have the Docker. This is not a bad Doctor Connect Pro Docker. And the rest of this up top here looks to be in pretty good shape. Now we have 4 weapon mounts here, and then 2 over on the wings. And then we have 2 on the underside of the wings as well. So we really have a place to put 6 weapons. So I am going to use Vanguard weapons because they are the best, the second best weapons in the game that are particle beams. So we're going to go to the Vanguard. Where are we? There they are. Vanguards. And we're going to put 1 right there. Come on, man. That's not working well. Okay. G Vanguard. G Vanguard. G Vanguard. And on the wingtips, we're going to put it right here. G Vanguard and G Vanguard. So now we've got 6 Vanguards on there. And if we look at this and do the weapons on the side, we've got the obliterators as weapon 1, the same 12 points worth of power that we were using before. Now on the wingtips, what I want to do is I want to put the missile pods back, but I'm going to use Vanguard missile pods. I like Vanguard weaponry. It's really good. It's not necessarily automatically the best every time. The missile launcher is good. It's not the best missile launcher. But where is it? It's a B, right? Vanguard missile launcher. Vanguard, that's a particle cannon. Oh, I'm already down in C. Starseeker pulse laser. I've never tried that one. I should go out and try it. I'm not a big fan of missiles. I mean, not missiles. I mean Actually, I'm just going to put Hellfires here. I don't know why things are not flipping over automatically. There we go, though. That worked. Right there, and then I'm going to put one here. Where'd they go? There they are. Then we're going to put one here. And then we can put two more, which I'm going to put right here. Now we got 12 weapons going here, and they are actually plenty. Oh, I want the obliterators there. I want the Hellfires there. There we go. So now what we are going to do is take a nod to what they did before. And right here, I'm going to put a Deimos part. The Deimos spine C right there, and on top, no, I'm not going to do that. Let's see. We'll do the spine A. We'll do the spine A. And right there, we are going to put a B suppressor, the one with the most range, which they both have the same range. There's 1,000 range right there. I really don't care much about how much damage it's doing. It's doing less damage than the ones we had there before. But the reason I like it is because it is a so it's color 2, color 1, color 3. Change that, color 2. Color 3. Oh, didn't change. Color 3. There we go. It will work as designed. I could put two of them on there if I want to. Actually, let's do that. And we can change that out. So let's let's do this. Let's grab this and move it back here. We can't. It's a different kind of connector. Alright, so we're going to go here and we're going to use the C. Then we're going to put this. Oh, you know, we could do that too. Let's do that. G right there. Now we got the two suppressors that we had before, and we're going to assign those to C. So now we're using, we have a 35 reactor, we're using 46 reactor power. So to give you a few comparisons, I am level 50. On my level 50 character, I have some aneutronic fusion. I also have Andromeda Kepke, who gives me one, and Vasco, who gives me one. So altogether, I think I have 3, but I might have 5. I think I might have just gone up, but it's either 3 or 5. So 3 is level 3, and level 4 you get 5 points of aneutronic fusion. Each point of aneutronic fusion gives you 1 more reactor point. So I have 2 crew members and myself, so I should have approximately 40 to 42 power. So I'm looking at 46 total for the power of what I'm putting on here, which is well within the range of goodness. So it's technically, we could start looking at, upgrading shield at this point since we're only using 8 power, but we may have to do something with engines. So that's something we need to look at. So we have reduced, I think, that storeroom. I might make that a companionway. That'll bring us down to 2200. Let's see, this should be 2280 is what the original design had. So it should be like that. And that should be what the original ship design was all about. And so we've got an 83 mobility, which is not terrible. Okay, I don't know how great it is, but it's not terrible. Now, up top here, we don't really have anything that we want to do, but we could remove this and put some of the 1x1s out there, but I don't think we'll do that yet. We'll worry about that when we're a C. I think that's what we're going to do. Worry about that when we're a C. So now here, everything's connected. And we'll pop that back together. Then over here, everything should be connected, and we'll pop that back together. It wasn't there? It was there? Okay. I'll trust you. Yeah, that looks right. So there it is. That's the new upgrade. Now, the performance here is going to be improved. It's not going to be improved greatly, but that is a great first upgrade. Now, I'll tell you why it's a great first upgrade. But before I do that, if I had to trim this back any from a power perspective, what I would do is have the ballistic weapons. So I would put one here on top of here and take out two or take out three, so that I had a total of 3 of these Hellfires. And what that would do is get me back down to where the previous total was. And the reason I say that is because these are autos, okay? So autos will fire at the same rate and recharge at a similar rate. And they'll fire, so with an auto, you get like a clip of shots. So when you're looking at your reticle, when you're in combat, the clip goes down with every shot. It does not recharge until you stop firing. Once you stop firing, it'll recharge the clip. So the recharge rate is what is affected by the amount, the percentage amount of power that you put into the system. So if you have 50%, it will recharge at 50% of the speed that it recharges already. So when you're in combat, you can see that with an auto. You only need 1 point of power, and it's going to fire all those shots until it runs out. But the 1 point of power is going to slowly fill up that clip. Regular weapons recharge after every shot. So they don't all use the entirety of the power, but they all recharge after every shot, and you can't shoot again until you have enough power to shoot. So it's a difference between the two types of weapons. So that's why autocannons and autos, like the other ones, the obliterators, they're auto projectors. Those are good because if you reduce their power, then you're still fine. So let's say, for instance, I don't have those 3 points of power on myself, or 5 points of power, and I don't have Andromeda on my ship. You can hire her in Sidonia. But so I just have Vasco, which is easy to get. He's easy to get. He's very maintenance free. So you have Vasco, you get 1 point of power. So if I had, say, the 31 reactor or even the 29 reactor, then I would want to trim back my power to around 10 to 12 points higher than my reactor, based on, if I have somebody else helping. So with this particular setup, if I only had Vasco, I would put my maximum power at right around, I would say 41 on a 31 reactor. And then at that point, you know, I would scale down the power that I'm putting on her. So I got 2 suppressors I can take off, and I have the extra autocannons. But keep the first section, that those W0s, those Vanguard auto projectors, keep those, all 6 of them. Those 6 projectors can win the battle just by themselves. And the cannons just make, when they're closing, a lot faster. So once they get inside 1,000 and those cannons join in, you will see hulls just melt. So the cannons kill the shield, and the ballistic just kills everything else as fast as it can. And the particle beams still damage the shield, so they're good there as well. And just so you know, I would take these 2 off the side, and then the 2 off from underneath, and then put the 1 ballistic right here. And that would cut me back. And then, of course, both of those would probably be gone. I probably wouldn't even have that part until I'm ready to mount something there. And you can just mount it there with this plate instead of the other thing, but then it's harder to justify putting something here. It stops the fire. It's in the way. So even up here, this is a little iffy. But, you know, I put it there anyway because I can. Anyway, that's the one, and we're going to go with that. I'm going to upload this video, and we'll go from there. Let's go take a look inside, though. There was 146,000, just so you know, to do that, which you should be able to get that fairly easy, fairly quickly. So let's see, I got to make it my home ship first. I'm slightly up on my size as far as cargo capacity goes. Let's go. What was I doing? Home ship H. There we go. And now here it is. There she blows. It's a good ship. I do like it. So we're going to just walk in and see what's changed. It's the engineering first. So, actually, we have this. This is a companionway instead of a cargo now, I believe. And then we have an engineering bay. Nothing spectacular here, just an engineering bay. And there are some lockers, and I would have a suggestion, if you don't have one, which most of them don't, I would drop down a chest, one of these one too many. One of these I would drop in here somewhere, back there maybe against the back wall, just to have one. They do carry weight, and that weight is, come on. That weight, no I don't. So here we are, we come up and we come to the workstations. So we do have a research here. And so we'll go back here and we'll see the battle bridge. You can see he's naked. He's not naked, he's just missing part of his outfit, so he looks naked.
How's it going?
It's going. So then we go over here. There's nothing back here because this is the back of the ship. Just so you know, I could put a window here and it would look right out into space. But I don't usually do windows very often. Some ships I do, but and then here's the infirmary. And then if I want to go and have a nap, I will go up here into this another companionway. And then over here into this, there's a bed right back here, well, bunk bed. And so there's a place to nap. There's another first aid kit. Remember, first aid kits will fill up. It takes about a week of game time Although if you're sleeping for a week, it doesn't do it. UT week. Yeah, that won't only kill us, so, you know. And then the bridge, just like normal. So there we have it. Let's take her up and zoom around the sky for a minute. I don't know why they do this, but they do, so I'm going to do it too. I don't want you to feel shortchanged. Once we're in the sky, you can look at my assignment of power. So, all right. If we look at this, take off all these grav drive points, then what we're looking at down here, there are 5 points down there in the bottom. So if I go to my P, I can see that I have 4 levels of aneutronic fusion. So I get 5 extra units of power. And I get 1 for Andromeda Kepke. So if we look back here, Kepler, Andromeda Kepler, I think. And Andromeda Kepler, she has aneutronic fusion. And the other one with aneutronic fusion is Vasco. So I get a point from each of them. Now, that said, sometimes I find that it doesn't add those points when it's supposed to. I don't know what's causing that or not causing it, but it doesn't add them like I would expect a lot of the time. So when I look at this, I see I have 5 left out of 41. So we know I have a 30, what do I have? I don't even remember. I have a 35 power generated, so it's giving me 6 extra points of power, so it's only counting 1 of them. I'm not sure if the robot change screwed up them counting Vasco, but I'm not getting both Andrea Kepler and Vasco. All I'm getting is 1 of those plus my 5, so I'm not sure why, but there you have it. It's probably the mod, though. That's my guess. So there's a mod that it's a gameplay mod, and it fixes companions. And one of the things it does is it changes Vasco to where he's got the Appalachian robot. And when he has the Appalachian robot, he doesn't count against your crew count. So there we have it. So anyway, so here we are. Let's go maximum speed and see how we do. We are going 233, looks like our maximum speed. So let's go up and over. Remember, we're 83. That's not terrible. Side to side. That's not too terrible. Let's roll. That's not bad either. Let's look at blast of speed. What's this out here? A Galbank Storm Rider. Alright. Power is our boost, and we're going 896 was what I saw. So it could have been close to 900 or 896, whatever. So 896 is what I saw. Now looking at my power, I would almost always keep this at 3 less than full. That's 1 weapon unpowered. Well, 2 is 1 weapon, but and then I would leave those down in the tray so that if I jump somewhere, the grav drive will just suck those power up there and use them. So as I do the jump, I automatically get 2 power. And it doesn't really make any difference on the particle beams or the ballistics. Now, if I get into a fight, I would probably pop them up maybe even put 2 into particulate or into particle. And I might even take one off of here and put it up there as well. So, that's probably be more like what I do, is keep one off of EM, and then I can fill particle weapons up all the way. So that's the ship, and that was the upgrade. Now that's only the first upgrade. I haven't done the second one. I need to think about how I want to do it, because I'm going to slightly change some of the view. But what I try to do is be true to the design of the Star Eagle. So as you see, I am pretty true to the design. And that's what we have it. The Star Eagle 2. Or B. Star Eagle B. There you go. That works. And so that'll be it for today. That'll be it for this video. Everybody be excellent to one another. Really, it just makes the whole world happier. When you smile at somebody, a lot of times they'll smile back. If they don't, maybe they really needed that smile because they got something going on and they just can't smile. So, think about the last time somebody smiled at you and just made your day. You can do that for somebody else. Or we can be grumpy too. A lot of times I self-identify as a grumpy old man, but I am old, so I guess that works. So, we'll talk to you next time. Hopefully this video does meet the ability to go to 1280, and hopefully the upload time isn't ginormously changed, because upload time will impact what YouTube does. So we'll give it a shot and see what happens. In the meantime, peace out.